Good morning, everybody. Welcome to a special edition of Sergeant K's Corner. You're going to notice that I'm a little rough already this morning. Hair's not even dry or anything like that, but I felt that this was important enough to get it on and to talk about it and get things moving. I got made aware yesterday of another suicide. A store manager for a major store, not going to give the name, want to protect the anonymity of the family involved, committed suicide. And, he leaves behind family and loved ones. And I did not know the gentleman, but that's irrelevant. It continues to go on. It continues to go on. The suicide rate and the violence rate in this country just continues to soar. Also, I think I mentioned in our opening edition that, the VA had sent out, or I saw in the Army Times, because I do read the Army Times, that the suicide rate for veterans has gone down from 22 a day to 17 a day. And those 5 lives are worth it, and that's a great thing, but, that's still 17 too many. And, I just want to make sure that people that are out there that are feeling hopeless, at the end of this, I'm going to hold up a piece of paper. We're very low tech here, but I'm going to hold up a piece of paper that's going to show you phone numbers, hotlines that you can call, and you could talk to somebody and get some help. Look, let me just be blunt about a few things because this topic is extremely important. Feeling that you have nothing to live for, feeling that it would be better off if you were dead, is a lie. It's a lie, straight from the pit of hell itself. It's a lie. Your family and loved ones and people that love you, after you're gone, they still have to deal with that. If you have children, your children have to deal with that. They have to deal with the fact that their parent, their mom, or their dad took their own life. And committing suicide is a problem. It's something that is a lie that's in your head. Your life has value. Maybe you don't see it, but to somebody it's got value, whether it's your mom or your dad or your aunt or uncle or your children or your spouse or whoever. It could be your best friend. And you leave those people behind and you're gone and you don't feel anything anymore because you're dead. Well, they have to deal with it. And if I'm being honest about it, it can be very selfish. It can be very selfish because you're not thinking about the ones that you say you love. You're concentrated in the hurt that you have. You're concentrated in your situation, whatever that situation may be. And there is help out there. There is no need to resort to suicide. There's no need. You can get help. And like I said, the VA is talking about, we went from 22, we're down to 17 a day. That's 17 too many, Veterans Administration. And do you know why veterans get depressed? Not just because they've been to combat and they have PTSD, but they get depressed because they come home and they're sick. And there's things going on with their body that they don't understand, that they acquired while they were in the military. And you don't care. You say you care. The politicians say that they care. And every politician says, I'm for revamping the VA and increasing veterans benefits. And what nobody ever addresses is the fact that if a veteran is sick, they have to prove that it's military related. Okay, let's be realistic for a second. There are things that veterans deal with that could only be military related and could be very difficult to prove. No veteran should have to prove it's military related. You prove it's not. You prove it's not. No vet wants to go through this battery that they have to go through and physicals that they have to go through and things of that type, essentially telling the veteran you're a liar. We didn't cause this issue. Oh, Agent Orange contamination, look at that. Camp Lejeune, look at that. Oh, and here's a better one. Here's a better one that I'm a part of. Fort McClellan, Alabama. Nerve agent. Agent Orange. Radiation. Cancer-causing material in the soil. It's amazing that settlements were made with the people of Anniston, Alabama, and this whole thing, a registry for Fort McClellan, Alabama veterans, doesn't even exist yet. And supposedly there's a bill to help us out, but that's stuck in Congress, of course, because our Congress is too worried about a former president's tax returns. Really? There is nothing that should go on before veterans get taken care of. Nothing. You think we would have learned that with our Vietnam guys? We haven't learned anything. We haven't learned anything. So you have former military police, because Fort McClellan was home of the military police school, and I believe it was the chemical school, and I know that there was some medical stuff that was going on there. But the area that's particularly contaminated is the area that the military police were in. And oh, guess what? It got down into the water table. So you had soldiers who were drinking water that was contaminated with Agent Orange and Nerve Agent and all these other things. And I'm not making this up. You go out to Google and you Google Fort McClellan contamination. All the information is out there, and Congress is sitting on it like they're hatching an egg instead of taking care of the people. I belong to a couple of Facebook groups. People are losing their teeth. People are having cancer issues, nerve issues, neuropathy issues, depression issues. And our government, as usual, does nothing. In fact, I could tell you, I wrote a letter to Congressman Duckworth, Tammy Duckworth. Now, you figure her having been prior military, been in a chopper crash, and losing both of her legs, that she would be out there, that she would take the forefront and help veterans. I got a form letter back from her. I got a form letter that told me, oh, I have always pushed for veterans and fought for veterans and this and that and this and that. Well, Ms. Duckworth, let me ask you this. Can you prove it? As a veteran, I wrote you a letter talking about what was going on at Fort McClellan. I got a form letter back, probably from a staffer. You never even saw my email. But see, that's what I'm talking about. One of the reasons why we deal with suicides as veterans and why the public in general is dealing with it is extreme depression. Because people don't feel cared about. Or because the news media gets out there and all they talk about is this sickness and that COVID and these numbers and blah, blah, blah. And we got the war in Ukraine, and Kim Jong-un in North Korea is launching missiles over South Korea, and they're falling near Japan, and Vladimir Putin and all of these different things. Where do people get a break? Where do people get a break? Shame on you, Congress. Shame on you, news media. Folks, if you're not feeling right, don't do this to your family. Don't do it to your family. Let me tell you something. You are a very loved person. You have family that loves you. But more importantly, you have a God that loves you. God off the throne of heaven We just celebrated Christmas, which is when we celebrate the birth of Jesus, okay? Came to this earth and died on a cross for me, for you, for everybody. Why? Because you are important. You have value. You have an individual fingerprint. You have an individual DNA. You have your own individual place in this world that no one can replace. Nobody can replace you. You are important. You're important to somebody. But you are certainly important to Christ because he gave his life on that cross for you. God knew you were going to be born long before you were born. The Bible tells us that he knew you while he wove you together in your mother's womb. You have a value. Your life is important. Don't do this to the people that you love. Don't do this to yourself. And let me tell you, here at Sergeant K's Corner, we are very low tech. I'm not out to be a big internet influencer. I don't care about that. I'm not out to gather donations or whatever. This is not about money. This is about people. Here is the hotline numbers. Let me hold these up. The national hotline, 800-273-8255. Veterans Hotline, all you have to do is dial 988, wait for the announcement to come on, and press 1. Get some help. Your life matters. Your life matters. Whether you're a veteran or whether you're not a veteran, your life matters. Nobody else has got your DNA. Nobody else has got your fingerprint. God only created one of you. One of you. You are a completely unique and divinely created individual, and you matter. Maybe not to Congress. Maybe not to Dick Durbin or Tammy Duckworth or any of those other people in Congress who only care about their longevity, otherwise there would be term limits, and care about themselves. But you matter to somebody. And I just had to get that off my chest. Don't do it. Call one of those numbers I showed you. You have value. You mean something. Be blessed. Have a great day.